For our next story, let's shift focus to France. A former president has been convicted for the first time in post-war French history and is facing jail time. Nicolas Sarkozy has been handed a 5-year prison sentence for criminal conspiracy after he was found guilty of seeking illegal campaign funds from the late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. A Paris court found Sarkozy guilty of taking campaign financing worth millions of dollars from Gaddafi for his 2007 presidential bid. The court acquitted him of all other charges, including passive corruption and illegal campaign financing. He was also ordered to pay a fine of around $130,000. The verdict shocked Sarkozy and was harsher than many expected, stunning allies and opponents alike. Sarkozy, who claims the case is politically motivated, has already filed an appeal.
I asked the French people whether they voted for me or not, whether they support me or not, to understand what has just happened. Hatred truly knows no bounds. I will assume my responsibilities. I will comply with the court's summons. And if they absolutely want me to sleep in prison, I will sleep in prison, but with my head held high. I am innocent. This injustice is a scandal, and I will not apologize for something I did not do.
Et s'ils veulent absolument que je dorme en prison, je dormirai en prison. Mais la tête haute. Je suis innocent.
Sarkozy will have to serve his sentence while awaiting the outcome of the appeal. The case has been running for more than a decade, with multiple investigations, trials, and hearings. The verdict is landmark in French history. The case was triggered in 2011 when the son of the Libyan dictator publicly claimed that the Libyan regime had provided over $55 million to Sarkozy for his 2007 campaign. This claim led to formal investigations in France and multiple hearings and procedures over the following years. 3 co-accused were also involved in the case. Claude Jouent, who was the former interior minister and a close Sarkozy ally, and he has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for his role in the conspiracy. Now, Brice Hortefeux, the former minister and an associate of Sarkozy, sentenced to 2 years, and Eric Worth, former minister and campaign official, who was acquitted. Now, key witnesses included businessman Ziad Taqeddine, who had claimed to have delivered briefcases of cash from Libya to Sarkozy. He later retracted his statement and died suddenly just 2 days before the verdict. Now, Sarkozy's wife, the Italian-born former supermodel and singer Carlo Bruni Sarkozy, was charged last year with hiding evidence and associating with wrongdoers to commit fraud, both of which she denies. The deal was allegedly struck to help both Gaddafi and Sarkozy. Oil-rich Libya at the time was facing international isolation. It was labeled a pariah state for decades due to Gaddafi's links to terrorism and weapons of mass destruction programs. But by the early 2000s, Gaddafi wanted international legitimacy, access to global markets, and an end to sanctions. France, as a key European power, offered diplomatic and economic influence. Gaddafi also made a state visit to France in 2007 after Sarkozy's win, the first by a Libyan leader in decades, further signifying the close ties between the two leaders. However, Sarkozy played a leading role in European and NATO actions against Gaddafi during the 2011 Libyan civil war, which led to Gaddafi's death and the fall of his regime. Now, this was the third regime to fall during the Arab Spring, a series of uprisings against authoritarian leaders in the region. But since then, the case has haunted the former French president and has led to a dramatic fall for a conservative leader. Reactions in France have been mixed. While some hailed the decision, others regretted it.
I find it regrettable for him, because you don't get sentenced to 5 years in prison like that if you haven't really done anything. But when you hear him talk, he still seems very innocent.
I think it's a good thing that Mr. Sarkozy, the former president of France, is being held accountable for his actions. Because given what has been said, reported and re-reported, this person, even if he was president, he must be held accountable and face these consequences.
Même si elle fut président, il faut qu'elle fasse face à ses conséquences. Voilà.
But the case is consequential for both France and Libya. It highlights the complex interplay of politics, diplomacy, and international finance, and how such scandals can continue to haunt a political leader, shaping their legacy long after their time in office.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 trilhões.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.